Hey Fidlike YouTube, welcome back to another episode of the Black Pearl. Okay, so don't panic, the fish aren't back in quarantine. This is old footage and it was just highlighting a problem that I've noticed I've got when I've got new fish, and that is because I've got the back and the sides of the tank all painted black. It's very difficult to notice if your fish has actually got any disease or parasites and stuff, and I think that's how the sailfin tang managed to slip through the net and infect my whole system. So I've decided that not once, but now that all these fish are into the pearl, I'm going to drain this tank and scrape all the paint off the back, just the back panel, and I'll put some blue vinyl on there, and I just think this will help make it a lot easier. Okay, so I've emptied the tank and I'm just in the process now of scraping the black paint off. It's flipping a job and a half, but the easiest way I've found is if you don't steal, borrow your wife's hairdryer and heat this up. It comes off kind of pretty easy, still a pain in the backside, but it's a lot easier that way. And I'll also do the bottom as well, because it's got a bit of overspray and stuff, and it should make it a lot better. Okay, so here we go. I've put some blue vinyl down the back, and I think this is going to make things much better, especially for viewing future fish and noticing any conditions and things wrong with them. I've got the sponge filter here, so obviously I'm going to have to reseed it, and I've got some artificial rock. It's made of fiberglass, and this is perfectly fine, because just now, like I say, this is just kind of like a utility tank, so any new purchases will go in here. The minute that I notice that there is anything wrong with them, like if they've got white spot or any kind of disease, well then this rock will then be removed and the plastic PVC pipe will then be replaced, obviously followed by any treatment, because then the tank will become a quarantine tank. Right, I've filled up the tank here. I've done a water change on the pearl, and I've just used that water to fill this tank up, and then that will obviously help get this sponge filter reseeded. And as soon as it's reseeded and ready to go, I'll maybe get a new fish for it. But yeah, that's the quarantine tank now transformed, and I'm a lot happier now, and I think it will be far better being able to see and check on your fish. So yep, pleased with that. Okay, so I purchased a mimic tang at the same time that I was through getting the cleanup crew. He's been in this tank for, I think it must be over a week now, and he's doing fantastic. Really good, eating well, eating like a pig really, but yep, and beautiful fish. Now these mimic tangs, obviously the mimic dwarf angelfish, you get lemon peel mimic tangs as well. This particular one, I do know that once he's an adult he's going to lose all these nice colours, and they do, again, some people might think they're drab, they go like a tan colour, grey colour, but I'm quite happy with that, something different. And to be honest, I've just got enough yellow in my tank as it is anyway, so this will be a refreshing change, and so far so good, and I'm sure he'll be a welcome addition to the pearl. Right, so here's a look at the tank now. The green hair algae is definitely winning this battle, but it definitely isn't going to win the war. It's taken over the whole tank. Near enough every island is covered in it. And then the sea hare, he's not really touching it. He's no interested. Speak of the devil, there's Hercules. He's no interested. He's just kind of sailing over the top. But I think he's more interested in the shorter stuff. So I think what I will do is I'm going to destroy this green hair algae. I'm going to rip it all out. Well, as much of it as I can. But some of you might be thinking, oh my god, why did he leave it to get so bad? Well, I'll tell you why. You know how like we grow GHA and stuff in our refugiums to soak up all the nutrients? Well, I've deliberately left this like this for a couple of weeks now, because my thinking behind it, I might be insane, like, but I'm thinking if I left it to grow to a reasonable amount, like I have done, this will be soaking up all that excess nutrients which I have in my system. So now when I'm about to rip it all out, all those nutrients will be exported out of the pearl. So, which I think is going to be a good thing. Whether I'm right or wrong, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's my theory behind it. So I thought, yep, I'll let it grow and grow and grow, just like GHA, then rip it out, and then that's me exporting extra nutrients out of the system. But yeah, so it's time to open up a can of whip ass on this green hair algae. Okay, so far I've started siphoning out as much of the loose algae as I can, but the rest of it is well rooted into the rock, and it's no coming off without a fight. But I've got 10 gallons here, and I've managed to get a reasonable amount of the algae off the rocks. So, like I said, positive way of thinking, well, that's extra nutrients that's going to be away, gone, which is a bonus. Okay, next thing I did was I got one of my son's toothbrushes, brand new like, and I've secured it into a bit of pipe, and I've then scrubbed all the rocks. I've switched off all the pumps. There's absolutely no pumps running on the pearl just now, as you can see, and I'm scrubbing all the hair algae I can, and I'm just letting it all just float down, sink to the bottom, and then I'm siphoning it out. Okay, so I've done a couple of sweeps and scrubbed some more rock, and as you can see there's loads of hair algae just starting to settle back down onto the sand bed, just ready for me to whip it out of the system just by siphoning, and the rest I'll just use a net and try and catch as much of it floating about in the water. Okay, so I've just started pumping freshly made salt water back in. I say freshly made, I've had it mixing for 24 hours, but it's ready to go. And I've got the pumping the water back on its lowest setting, because I don't want to create too much turbulence. I'm wanting the algae still there just to settle down, and then I can just siphon it back out into a net, catch the algae and save some of the good water. And I'll just keep doing that until I've got most of it out of the system. Okay, so that's it for tonight. The lights have gone out, and we'll see you in the morning, and hopefully the rock work's going to be looking a lot better. But I must say I'm delighted that I've managed to scrub a good bit off, and I've managed to get rid of a good amount of algae. Like I say, that's a lot of nutrients that are in the bin, so happy days. Okay, so here's the tank. It's actually late evening now. The lights had went off, but I've just switched them back on quickly just to make this quick video. The rock work's definitely looking a lot better than it did, and I'm pleased that I managed to export all those excess nutrients with that hair algae. So the black pearl's definitely looking a lot better, but we're far from out of the woods yet, because the algae is just going to grow back. I know it is, but I'm hoping that when it is growing back, Hercules will be more interested. It'll be fresh growth, it'll be shorter, and probably a lot better and easier for all the cleanup crew to actually take hold of it. But yeah, like I said, that was the only reason I let it grow as bad as I did, was because my thought was that when I rip it all out, at least I'm exporting extra phosphates and nitrates and stuff. But yeah, it's looking a million times better than it did. I've not cleaned the back glass, just because I think the cleanup crew can then focus on that if the rock work is too clean, which I highly doubt. But here's Hercules sitting up on top of the island munching away, so really pleased to see that. I think he's happy that I've gave this algae a haircut. But yep, so far so good. I'm going to do another water change in maybe about 4 or 5 days. I change about 15% at a time. Hopefully then we'll be victorious against this green-haired monster, and things will start turning around. I'm increasing my magnesium. I'm at 1500 just now, and I'm slowly going to increase that to maybe 16, 17, and hopefully that will help discourage any new growth of the green-haired monster. But apart from that, everything else is fine. I'm really happy now. It's looking a lot better. So yep, that's pretty much it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Till next time, bye bye.